Hello, this video is intended to be useful to people who are taking an existing UOI and revising it. I do want to point out to you, and I'm saying this over and over again because we're not face-to-face a lot this year, so I don't want anyone to miss it. So I apologize if you've heard it over and over and I'm inundating you with it. But we are going to move fully to those shared drives. We started that process last year. We're going to put all of our UOIs up there. And once they're up there, and they should be, then all of those revisions that we do and all the work that we do from now on is going to be done in your shared drive. So I just want to repeat that, so make sure that that we don't miss it. So what is revising? Well, it is not starting from scratch. If you start from scratch, that's a different video. Revising is where we've got this UOI template and all we're doing is just fixing some things in it and making it new. Maybe we're fixing a lot of things in it. It doesn't matter how much. Some examples of revision are, what if we're going to add, delete, move standards or objectives? So that's one way. So let me show you how to do that. So here's a nice little UOI template of an Algebra 1. I just use this as a sample. So here's an Algebra 1 unit, and Mr. Holloway is letting me um, use this for demonstration purposes. So thank you, Mr. Holloway. And so as I look at these, I'm like, okay, these are Common Core. They've got to be updated. Yes, there's a crosswalk, but okay, now's the time. So I look at my crosswalk, or I figure out what I now want to do with this particular objective. And so I highlight this because this is the one this is the one I'm working on right now. And then I go to my objectives and I look through and I see, okay, look here are the ones I'm using, the expanded expectations, because they have these nice things. So if I'm not sure if this is the right one, I can look over here and get some specifics. Expanded expectations are right there, almost on the very first page of math curriculum on DESE. Awesome stuff. And so maybe that's my objective that's going to replace that Common Core. So I'm going to Control C it, or you might right click and copy that. And if you do Alt Tab, you can see all of your tabs. So I can go quickly back to this particular, you would think quickly, right? There we go. There's the one I want. And so I'm going to remove this. In fact, I'm just going to erase that and I'm going to Control V. Oh, now look at that. Isn't that interesting? When I did that, it took the whole table and it kind of morphed everything, and I don't want that. That's not going to work. So obviously what this means is I copied too much. So I'm going to undo that and go back into my document, and I'm going to do, it means I've got to do this one at a time. So notice I'm not doing the whole field like this. That would be the whole field. I'm just doing the text itself. Control C and then Alt Tab, go back to and put that right there. And then I'm going to put a space, and now I'm going to go back to my other document and I'm going to just grab the text, not all of it. All of it would look like that. I don't want that. I just want the text. So I'm just going to highlight just the text. I'm going to Control C it, and then I would copy this one separate and this one separate, and there's 6 of them. This that I would need to get in there before I leave this particular spot, and that's how I'm going to get. Now I can highlight this and change the font size and all of that if I don't like what's going on here, but that's how you copy and paste your objective in there, or I'm sorry, your expectation in there. And then over here, like here's the, who knows what this is, looks like something that I need to update. So I would type in here, I would say the student will, and I would say what they're going to do with rational numbers and irrationals, and whatever. And so that's one way I can update. Another way is, you notice I've put in an extra line in here. That's how I do that. The way you do that is you click in the box above it or below it, right click, and then you've got these choices. I want to insert a row below. So now I've got some room for some more objectives. I've put a couple down here. If I want more, I can right click, insert row below, and I get more rows. Down here, one way you can expand this is just with your enters, but I also can just right click and insert row below, and I can get as many more down here as I want. Sometimes I don't want this all scrunched up. I want to split it out a little bit if there are a lot of objectives. Um, so that's just how you update. You delete, you copy and paste it from someplace else, you can move it someplace else, whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do for it. So, if I want to get rid of these, I can highlight them and say delete 3 rows. And my computer got upset with me, but that is how you do it. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out before I go on from here, if you notice, Mr. Holloway has his objectives up here, and then he has his sub-objectives. Objective 1A, classify real numbers. B, use order of operations. So instead of listing all of these up here, he decided it makes more sense to him to have these power objectives, and then he breaks them out down here. Now, and that's fine. I've said over and over that obviously we have to have standards, but this whole thing is about being useful to you as well. So he has morphed this process in a way that makes sense to him, and so this becomes much more useful for him when he does when he organizes it in this way, because curriculum is so personal. Notice he's used those objectives over here. So do I know what objective this activity covers? Sure, I can find 1A very easily. I go up here and there it is. So that is, I just wanted you to see that he's doing exactly what we want. We want this to be useful. All right, so what about another type of revision? What if we're going to revise our activities? So, all right, well, that's good enough. So let's see. If I look at like this first activity, activities are always in element 4, right? So if I click on this activity here and go to it, oh my, we're sorry, this page is no longer available. So I've got to update that link, and so I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to find something else. So it was rational exponents, so maybe I just search for rational exponents, and I'm going to look in Engage New York because, I know they have some cool stuff. So I look at that and I go, yeah, I read through it. Yeah, I like this. This looks pretty good. So I'm going to save this, and this always saves it to your local computer, your our networked drive. So that's fine. I can save it here, and I'm just going to save it at the bottom of all this, or actually I think I'll just put it in downloads. I'm going to save it, and there it is. It's in my downloads. And the reason why I am going to save it there is because I also need to upload it into this folder up in the shared drive. So here are my drive and here are the shared drives. Now I've got a bunch, but you just have a couple for your classes. I happen to be in this one right now, curriculum director, but you would be down here in your class. And I am going to upload, since I have this folder open, I'm going to upload that file that I just downloaded from the internet. And oh, looky there it is. So I click on it and I hit open, and it's going to upload it into there. And now I want to link it to this UOI, right? So I'm going to right click and I'm going to get link. And it says copy link. And then I would look at, do I want it restricted? Only people added can open this link. You know what? I want anybody that looks at it to here at school to be able to get that link. And now I've copied the link. I am going to, whoops, I shouldn't have done that. I've already got it open up here. So I'm going to just Control V because I copied the link. Control V, there it is. And I want to go ahead and highlight it and make sure, hyperlink it. Make sure this link is going where it wants. And look, it's pointing right to that. And in fact, it's asking me, do you want to put the actual title in this URL? And I'm like, yeah, that looks nice instead of that HTTPS blah blah blah. And now I have updated that, and I can click on it and make sure it takes me to the right spot. I really should. So that's how I add a new link. Now, what about this archiving thing? All right, so let's say this one right here has got to go. Don't do it anymore. Don't need it. Um, so I'm going to replace it with a different one. So what I might do is I'm going to highlight this whole row and I'm going to change the color of the text to brown, like it's old and I found it in the attic, and I'm going to archive it. So I'm actually going to move it. I could put it in here. I could right click in here and insert some rows below, and then I could put my archive things all down here. Or I actually could even add my own archived table in here if I wanted. So I click between element 4 and 5, and then I can insert a table if I want. I'll do like a 1 by 1 table, and I can put my archived units in here. So I'm going to go up. Where is the one I'm getting rid of? There it is. It's brown. I'm going to highlight it all, and I'm going to control X, which is cut, and I'm going to control V, which is paste, and now there that activity is. So it's in my archive, and I might even want to put a little add another row here. That would be like right click and insert row above, and I might want to put archived activities because these activities sometimes they're useful in the future. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've thrown something away going, I didn't like this. And then later, 2 or 3 years later, you go, oh man, that activity would have been perfect for this particular group. And so if you can just archive it, that way it'll be there forever. All right, so that's how you archive something. I showed you how to update a link. Same thing with an assessment. If this assessment is not what I want it to be, then I'm going to either update it right inside of its document, or I can just get it out of there and link a new one in there. So it's really that simple. So having this UOI document, I feel like at least filled out, like I can change this. I can change this to another unit, or I can change the name of the unit. I can do whatever I want to that top part too. I think I want it underlined, so there we go. And basically that's what you do. So I actually did this part right here, didn't I? So usually this is the most efficient way to update your curriculum because you already have something rather than starting from scratch. Copy and paste is your best friend in this. So get used to having documents around or finding documents that you can copy and paste into there. And but you do you. You know, if you need to start from scratch, that's going to be harder. It's going to take longer, I believe. But if that's how your brain gets itself wrapped around its your curriculum for whatever reason, then this is very personal. So you do that. But if revising looks like something that, and I highly recommend it. If revising looks like something you want to do, then yeah, that's how to do it. So thank you so much, and thanks for listening to my rambling. All right, bye.